I can hear you tapping.
Please silence your cell phones. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I forgot to open up.
Good evening. The Board of Prairie County Commissioners is now opening up a public hearing to allow proponents and opponents to testify on the merits and legality of establishing Big Sheep Mountain Park zoning district and a zoning commission to advise the commissioner. Everyone will get 3 minutes and only 3 minutes. Everything will be run through the chair. For example, at the start of your testimony, you will say, "Mr. Chair and Commissioners, my name is." You will state your first and last name and spell your last name for the record. Then you will state if you are a proponent or opponent and begin your testimony on your position. I'm going to be very strict on the time and procedure because this is not a public comment period. This is a public hearing and we need accurate testimony on a specific issue. Stay on topic, and this is not a question and answer session. The commission will not take questions on the issue at hand. There will be a 30-day written comment period starting now at this hearing. With that, all who want to testify will come to the podium and start out their testimony with the directions I have given. Let's be professional and respectful. Thank you. Who's first?
Mr. Chairman, County Commission, my name is Rob Rukoff, R-E-U-K-A-U-F. I am an opponent of industrial development in northern Prairie County. I'm a rancher, a landowner, and a businessman that is situated in this zoning area. I am opposing industrial development because it will disrupt agricultural operations. It will devalue my ranch, and it will destroy the farm to market roads that lead us into town and businesses and cattle hauling and everything else. Not only that, it will destroy the beauty and serenity of Prairie County. That's my comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, my name is Steve Phipps, 2483 Baton Road, live out north where the project will be taking place. I'm an opponent of the project, mainly because of the way the project was put together and the way the project will proceed. I truly believe that this project will not benefit Prairie County one bit. And I do believe that once this project starts, the people that are for the project will truly see what's going to happen here and what these people are going to do. They will never be spoken to again. And I think you sitting at that table right now have the power, and you will always have the power. We shouldn't stand in the way of industry, and we've said that before. But let's make sure we don't let them run to the top. Just because they're all here, they're writing notes down, and they threaten to sue us. We do not have to be afraid of them. They're just another industry. We have the power. 75% of the people spoke. There are ways that we have the power and we can work with them. They can work with us also without threatening us. I'm an opponent, but I would be willing to work with people that do not have to threaten us to work with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Tom Vaughn, I'm OPD. I'm not from this county, I live right next to the next Terra farm, north of Angela. I came here to give some insight to it. My house sits several hundred yards from one of these towers. They put it in, our house sits right on our property line, the neighbors built the towers. The thing is extremely loud, it sounds like a jet engine going on all the time when it's running, not counting the whoop whoop of the air. I've got another one a half a mile away from me, I can hear it just as loud. I have no peace in my house anymore. You don't want these things, you don't want the lights of it, I get to watch the blinking lights every night. You can't help but look at those lights. If they can figure out how to put something without the lights, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm getting to the point I can almost live with the things. I can't keep my windows open at night because they're too loud to run. I can't sleep at night very well because of the things. They are a huge nuisance. The roads are torn up. There's a lot of traffic. They're a lot better now than when they were building them. The building phase were by far the worst. I do have to say the people that work for NextEra, the hands that are working, I've gotten along really well with them. They're some good people. I haven't had to work with the executives and those types of people, but the hands that work on the towers are good people. I do have to say that, but there's a lot you guys do not want if you can stop this thing or slow it down or regulate it to some extent, it will be a lot better off. Thank you very much.
Hey, Tom. What'd you say your last name was?
MLB.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Cheryl Morrison, MORRISON. This is a hearing about whether or not you're an opponent or a proponent for the zoning district. I am an opponent. I think it's going to limit things like the Kelly Bean plant. You're not going to be able to put the filter system on there so that I don't have to dust every darn day. You're not going to be able to have extra tall towers if you have a zoning district up north where the service is bad. And that's how ambulances get there. That's how emergency services get there. I think that if you're opponent to a certain kind of industry, you're going to be able to tackle that through contracts and other measures. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair and Commissioners, my name is Dan Knight, PIKE. I am a proponent of the zoning district. First, I want to thank you for dealing with this somewhat contentious issue in a professional manner. I support zoning because it protects our current quality of life and health of the people and the environment in the district. It also addresses the many inevitable conflicts of interest that are going to arise from a project, from an industrial project that spans hundreds of square miles. One thing that I learned in my time in the corporate world is that there's this mistaken belief that money fixes everything. I don't apply that here. In the case of NextEra, They stated they don't need subsidies to build this project. I would like them to take a step further and commit to not taking subsidies for this project. In that way, those 77% of the people in the district who oppose this project would not be forced to pay for the next 10 years. The second challenge I have for them when it relates to money is that they're committed to paying mitigation fees for the wildlife that will be destroyed. They claim there's minimal destruction there. However, I submitted studies that show otherwise. I submitted a map of Prairie County, overlaid the plans of NextEra, and they will build right on top of Sharpeville grasslands. Sharpeville grasslands are endangered. They can legally get away with it. However, if any property owner, any other citizen did that, they would be subject to be stopped, fined, and jailed. So why should NextEra be any different? So in their case, to solve this problem, money fixed it. My last point is in regard to this strangely addressed letter here being the copy of county commissioners that was a threat to sue to collect evidence. I think what that shows is the precedence that you're gonna deal with in dealing with any conflict of interest with this company. They will out money and out lawyer anybody in this county and potentially the county. And so, do we allow it? Or do we just get used to the new boss very quickly? Please vote to accept the zoning. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Chairman and Commissioners, I'm Lyles, L-I-L-E-S. Neither here nor there, but I need to know how many people pay my taxes or pay my rent out there. Nobody's raising their hands. So I don't know why it's okay for them to tell me what I can and cannot do on my own private land. It is private property. And that is a real thing, and nobody should be able to tell us what we can and cannot do. We are also under contract. Would renters be happy if their gas or under contract, the buyer's like, I don't want them, go find somebody else. No, they wouldn't. Also, my second is how disrespectful this county has been. This whole deal with the wind towers, I don't know. There's some of the comments that I've heard and read from people in this county. We try to teach our kids to be respectful and kind human beings, but some of the people of Prairie County are not representing that, and it makes me sad. You should be ashamed of yourself. It's an agree to disagree type of thing. We can all have civil conversations without being rude and harmful to other people's feelings. I do not think that it would be awful at all to raise money into our county. My kids drive back on the road 18 miles twice a day, and it is treacherous right now because we don't have the funds to go play that road. Something needs to give. We need some money in this county, and it would not kill our teachers that have our kids 9 months out of the year to be able to get a little more money in their pocket because they deal with our children. Thank you for your time.
Chairman, committee members, my name is David Aston, A-A-S-T-E-N. I am a businessman, a landowner, several miles of road in this area. I also own one. There's 13 battlefields in Montana. I own one of them that's in the middle of this property that needs to be considered. I stand here today supporting the zoning regulation. I think it's been said before. I've been in front of you several times already. I won't belabor my points. I hope we do the right thing. We have voted. The area voted 75%. Let's put the zoning in. Thank you.
Commissioners, my name is Lisa Kearns, Kearns. I
am from Miles City, and I am a proponent of zoning district. I am a proponent of wind, and I felt it necessary to share my experience because I just recently, about 2 months ago, moved from Sunburst, Montana, and we have the wind farms in our area. And let me tell you my experience that we have faced as a county there. I sat 6 years on the school board. The wind farms were not community minded, certainly not ones that were willing to help small C school like we were in. They paid their taxes under protest, absolutely almost killed our school because they ended up settling in court for pennies on the dollar. We had to almost rip our teachers to be able to make up for the shortfall of the taxes that they would not pay. They definitely weren't having the integrity that they say that they do have. As far as many of the people have mentioned the noise and the horizon has changed with them, but a couple of issues that haven't been brought up is the vibration. And the vibration in our area made it such that the rattlesnakes migrated away from all those areas. And because they had nowhere to go, they started coming into the towns and into the areas where it's more populated. And so we ended up with a huge rattlesnake problem. And as some people said, they came agitated. Rattlesnakes that are agitated are really not a good thing. And so anyway, I wanted to share those experiences with you firsthand from us that have had wind farms, didn't feel that we gained the financial gain that we thought it was going to be. Certainly didn't like what it did to the landscape and to the land and the areas. So I would just like to share that and once again say I am a proponent of the zoning district. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perhaps microphone. I apologize, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Forrest Sanderson, Sanderson. I am a private consultant. I have been retained by the petitioners supporting the Big Sheep Mountain Park zoning district as presented to you. 4 quick points. What I've stressed to those landlords, 4 quick points. These regulations are use neutral. We're not targeting any industry, anybody. We're imposing height limits and setbacks. Height limits and setbacks are like good fences between agricultural neighbors. Your cows stay at home, my cows stay at home, and we're both happy people. The big ticket here, again, being use neutral. All property owners have property rights. They cut both ways. You as my neighbor do not have the right to undertake actions that adversely affect me and my right to peaceful occupancy of my property. These regulations are a step to make that happen. The last thing that 75% of the landlords in the district asked me to convey to you is to encourage the commissioners to, quote, do the right thing. Pass the regulations as they were given to you. They are widely supported. I have worked in land use since 1989 all over Montana. That's 36 years. Most land use decisions are made by elected officials on the presumption that 51% or more of the owners within the district are happy. Tonight, you have the luxury of knowing that that number is 75+%. Do the right thing, commissioners. Pass the Big Sheep Mountain District as given. Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't catch your first name.
Forrest. FORREST.
F.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, members. I have exception for no changes to the public transportation. That is scheduled.
Yes.
I don't care.
Fine.
Ready, can you hear me?
Do the chair.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. You just say. And state.
My name is Randall Prairie. I'm the Public Service Commissioner for District 1 of Montana. I represent this district as your Public Service Commissioner. Can everyone hear me all right? We have the support of the vote of the people concerning the Big Sheep Mountain District project, which the people won by over 75% of the popular vote. Doing so, the people of this district have the constitutional right to put any restrictions they see fit on any future projects, not some $100 billion out-of-state company. Montanans will develop more responsibly and certainly be more environmentally friendly to our Montana lands. I'll stand for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
The Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Dan Fulford, Fulford. I stand in front of you representing the Fulford family, trust, as landowners in Prairie County. I'm also a business owner. I oppose this. I've been a 35-year real estate person across the country. I'm a developer as well as a large property owner. I oppose this project, and I hope it passes this resolution as the way it is written. And that is, I'm concerned about real estate values that I haven't heard much talk about tonight. Use and enjoyment of properties. And I haven't been a big landowner here for years, but I've been around here for 35 years. I've had a lot of friends here that have let me use and enjoy the property over the years. I'm very afraid of this beautiful, beautiful area turning into a dump ground. I appreciate you taking my comments, and I hope you do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff Nelson would also like to speak. I'll let him introduce himself. My name is
You're the
Jeff.
chair.
Could you spell his last name?
JDFFBATTISON. Okay, Jeff.
1 minute. Time's up. Time's up. Thank you.
Don Gillum. KILL.
You, the chair.
Chair, Commissioners. Did you get this down? KILLEN.
Thank you.
Okay. I also live in most of Lincoln. Not a resident of Prairie County, but, I think that people need to know, I live right in the of my house. When the one inside of the house. There's no noise. There's noise, but it's not annoying to me. The lights don't bother me. Using very little land. We have gravel roads out into our fields. Honestly, I feel it's maybe one of the best things I did, and it may help to keep the third and fourth generation on that ranch. I wrestled my first wrestling match in this gym. I remember what Jerry was 50 years ago. It's changed. So money coming to this area, whether it's North Miles City or Northern Terry, is a good thing. The wind farm completed in my area brings the minimum of $3 million a year to that area. That money then be spent somewhere. Now, I know this is about a zoning district, but let's face it, this is about stopping the wind farm appearance. And, you know, this eastern Montana looks to me like we could use all the help we can get. The thing has not bothered me at all. It's been good for our ranch. It doesn't affect the livestock. They lay in the shade of these things. I've seen 2 dead birds. We have 18 towers.
1 minute.
2 dead birds. One was a turkey vulture. One was a Hungarian partridge. We've seen nothing else. And I will guarantee you, I still have rattlesnakes on my roof. So just wanted to kind of put the record straight about what it's like to live in most of this thing, and it's one of the best things we've ever done, I believe. I wanted to make one comment and commend this young girl to come up here. There's a young couple trying to buy a farm and stay on it. And we need more of that. We don't need corporate coming in here and taking over our ranch land. Let's keep these young people on these farms, and this will help them immensely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have, Mr. Davis, Ross Davis, formerly from Prairie County.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. My name is Paul Hicks, Hicks. I manage permitting and environmental review for projects for next area energy resources in the Mountain West, which includes Montana. Tonight you will hear about the strong economic benefits of the project, like funding for the local economies. These positive economics are matched by our commitment to the responsible stewardship of our land and environment. The process of energy development is years in the making and informed by many factors. Factors that include evaluating energy market conditions, the availability of energy resources, access to interconnection. In addition, we balance these factors with consideration of our natural resources, like land, water, wildlife habitat, cultural and other historic resources. For each of our energy projects, we take considerable steps to ensure the project is permitted, developed, and responsible and environmentally conscious manner. We work with some of the leading industry wildlife biologists, consultants, and environmental experts to inform project design. We studied the project area for years and surrounding areas to determine the potential for sensitive resources for wildlife species, including those protected under the Endangered Species Act. The project area that we speak of has been intensely surveyed since 2019 for raptor nests within 2 miles of the project for avian use for greater stage drought selection. We did receive data from Mr. Mike, who spoke earlier, and bats. Surveys will continue through 2026 and are conducted to adhere to U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service guidelines and Montana Fish and Wildlife and Parks guidance. We work to avoid and minimize disturbance of the species identified in these surveys. Some of the ways we minimize these impacts is by co-locating infrastructure with existing roads and power lines, by burying collection lines, providing low quality habitat whenever possible, by locating infrastructure away from active natural lands, by limiting surface disturbance and vegetation removal, by scheduling construction outside of seasonal timing restrictions, and by using bird deterrence in our design. Like our Clearwater project, we also work with Montana Sage Grouse Conservation Program to develop a sage grouse mitigation plan. The plan will include compensatory mitigation to improve habitat for sage grouse and other wildlife in the region. We continue to invite feedback and inputs so that we may address concerns and maximize the project benefits for all stakeholders involved moving forward. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Mr. Commissioner, Chair, Commissioners, my name is Jake Kitson, and while I did not live, K-I-T-S-O-N.
Thank you.
While I did not live in the area that is being discussed this evening for zoning, I am a resident of Prairie County. I elected to move my family here in 2018 because of the vast love and beauty that I have for this state, and for the abundance of natural resources that are deemed constitutional rights to those of us who live here. Preamble to our state constitution says we, the people of Montana, are grateful to God for the quiet beauty of our state, the grandeur of our mountains, the vastness of our rolling plains, and desiring to improve the quality of life, quality of opportunity, and secure the blessing and liberty for this and the future generations who are being established this Constitution. Article 9 of our state constitution talks about environmental and natural resources. While you are not the legislators in Illinois, you also are known to the state constitution. And in our state constitution, part of the security is for the opportunity and the preservation of our lands and our resources. Not only as has been mentioned tonight, one of the areas affected would be a battlefield site, but these things that would be affected would be grouse and other observational things, such as water and resources. Countless things have been submitted to this county board regarding the environmental and long-term damage of said windmills, whether it's Nextera or other organizations that establish and erect them. Not only is the reclamation of the land and the destruction and decommissioning these things a prolonging issue that has lasted and caused irreversible damage to private landowners all throughout this country, It has been an eyesore all the way down what was once the great rolling plains of this nation. I drive every year in the end of the year, around May, to go and visit my daughter in Oklahoma. What once was a scenic, beautiful drive of the Great Plains that is encapsulated in our national anthem is now an eyesore. It's something that you can no longer take into the grand beauty of our nation, but instead is impeded by things such as non-renewable, really, because these things are non-renewable resources. These things are an environmental disaster, an eyesore, and irreparable to the health, not only agricultural, but our environment and the resources that are supposed to be publicly enshrined in our state constitution. Thank you.
Thank you. Next. We all going home
Mr. Chair, Mr. Commissioners,
You could take that off if you want to, make it easier.
Jack Wallace, businessman, Prairie County, voter. I'd like to say I'm for Big Sheep Mountain project. End of the day, I travel this road, this country over here, it's a bunch of anybody. Aesthetic view means something. I'm on top of Big Sheep Mountain. I can see Johnny Hills all the way there. And I used to go to Tree Cooley in Garfield County, and we weren't there that time to see my downtown signals. So there's a lot of this that needs to be thought of. As landowners, I feel that aesthetic view is worth more than what the next era can ever bring to our community and generations beyond. Every parent is always asked from their kids, I don't have kids, but I always ask mine, how was it when you were alive, when you were growing up? Well, it won't be that way. The windmills, well, they weren't there, but they're there now. So that's what I feel. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Prairie County Commissioners, my name is Shelley Cole Harrington. Last name is Culp, Harrington. I'm a Prairie County landowner, a rancher, Prairie County voter. I didn't ever think this was a unique thing until I met other people that were from out of state. But 4 sides of my extended family, my great grandparents, all homesteaded in Montana, eastern Montana. 3 branches homesteaded within 40 miles of this county. So they didn't homestead in Prairie County, but our roots are still pretty deep in the center of the state. So some of the concerns I have, I'll get to that I support. I am a proponent of the Big Sheep Mountain Park zoning district. I understand not wanting to support zoning, and if I felt there were any other ways to do this, then maybe that would be something I would consider. I'm firmly in support of landowner rights. But when something like wind towers go up, that's something that potentially is gonna affect the neighboring landowners. So if you're doing something on your property that doesn't affect your neighbor, fine by me. But that's not what has been shown in how many other states and how many other countries. This is not new technology. It has been subsidized for, I don't know, 20-some years.
1 minute.
So I'll just get to, I'm not sure that the setbacks that they're proposed They're very conservative. I'm not sure they're far enough. In light of some new studies that have come out in some other countries, Sweden, I believe, Australia, they're talking 10 kilometers for human health reasons. I have the paper here by Dr. Ken Matson, PhD. It's also been posted on the Eastern Montana web page on Facebook if you want to read the article. And one other thing I want to bring up is that the Farm Bureau County Committee, or the Farm Bureau annual meeting, Prairie County annual meeting, we passed resolutions about a month ago. These resolutions will go forward to the state convention. And this is the first resolution. We support decommission bonding of all energy industry.
Do you want to put that in the record and hand it to us?
I could, if you want to look at what the resolutions were, I can get you copies.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
there's 4 or 5 of them.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Commissioner, I was told it was not working.
We're working on it right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leaders, Chairman, thank you for this opportunity to visit with you this morning. My name is Glenda Uelene, Uelane. My husband and I live 30 miles north of here. From our home, we can see on Brockwood Road. From our home, we can see the face of Sheep Mountain. You know, it's beautiful. Sunrises, the sunsets, the gorgeous. The birds, all of it. For that reason alone that I want to talk about tonight, my husband Chris and I support the Sheep Mountain District zoning. And we ask that you would accept it the way it was written. Don't change it. It's all good. Trust me. I think that it's important for people. I came from Western Montana. And I always heard anybody can love the mountain, but it takes someone special to love the prairie. I don't think you have a person in here that would argue with that. We are here because we're tough and we don't want to see change. And that, my friends, is what we're looking at. So I would encourage you to support this. And you know what? We have 3 commissioners. I'm trying to figure out who our commissioner is that supports the north side. And if we have 75% of the voters in this district that support this, I think that commissioner should support us also. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
The chairman, commissioners, Kathleen Grist, Grist. I am a business owner and I'm a landowner in Prairie County. And I 100% support these regulations. My desire is to keep this area beautiful. That's why I live here. And I just would not want to see any changes that are maybe proposed. So I just ask you please to do the right thing and vote the way 75% of this county has already spoken and said that they want done. So that is what I have to say. And I have a paper here. Can I bring it forward?
You can bring it forward. Thank you.
Commissioner. My name is Prairie. Prairie, yes. I've lived here now. Like I said, I think somebody else said, God is you. But I am pleased for this issue. For the big sheet mom. Can't talk. Is it okay if I bring this up?
Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, my name is Megan Fritz, PIRTZ. The following letter is from Julia Lewis, a non-participating landowner of the 8 Point Wind development. As you hear, the project has run the community park because of the devastating intrusion of the turbines on non-participating landowners and because of the fire started on one of the turbines. The fire spread at fiberglass could be for 2 miles, and people brought bag after bag of fiberglass to the city council meeting that utmost anger and disgust. Massive amounts of fiberglass within the trees, hayfields, pastures, and riparian areas caused a major environmental catastrophe. One farmer was nearly killed by the fiberglass contamination when hanging his state crop. Julia Lewis and many other residents have had their life, property values, and freedom violated. The setbacks in the proposed 15-mile development regulations are legal by statute, have been voted in by 75% of the landlords, and should be passed as presented and voted on by the people. This is the limit. What happens to something that seems good on the surface ends up hurting the people around it? That's exactly what's happened here. The deal may have been made between the landowners and the energy company, but the real cost goes far beyond that. It's paid by those of us who live nearby. The impact isn't felt by the company or the landowner. It's felt by the families who live near the turbine, by the wildlife, and by the land itself. In my own experience, the setback of the turbines from my home was less than 715 yards. The noise, especially on many nights, can be so loud that it disrupts my sleep. It is a daily reminder that these so-called green projects often overlook the people most affected by them. Before construction began, our area had a strong eagle population, and a study was done to assess the potential impact of those birds. The last study, like the noise analysis, was conducted by the firm hired directly by the same company building the turbines. It is difficult to trust results paid for by those who can benefit from the outcome. The real shame of it all is that the wind turbines were made from non-renewable materials, and when you look at how they're produced, transported, and disposed of, it clearly aren't truly sustainable.
1 minute.
The only reason the industry is viable is because of heavy taxpayer subsidies. Wind energy improvement is unreliable and unpredictable, with companies often paid to shut down turbines when wind power is produced. Those costs fall back on consumers, forcing the public to buy an unstable system. But we already know the consequences of these projects. Why do we keep supporting them instead of investing in energy that are proven to be both reliable and sustainable? I am one of many who have had to bear the hidden costs of these projects. When 3 turbines were installed next to my home in 2022, my family and I were forced to shoulder a burden we never agreed to. When my husband's great-grandfather created this land in the late 19th century, his work was difficult but honest. He carried the cost of his labor, but he also reaped the full rewards. For generations, we have lived by the same principle, always considering how our actions would affect our reputation, the environment, and our neighbors. That legacy was shattered when an outside corporation partnered with a few local landowners to choose personal profit or the well-being of their community and surrounding environment. The result is heartbreaking. Our once tight-knit, peaceful farming community has changed completely. The quiet countryside that we love has been replaced by the constant sound and presence of turbines.
Time.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
My name is Dave Hudson, AGD, and I'm a resident of Prairie County. And I am totally for this project that was put together on the Sheep Mountain district. And I want to point out that a 17 people that actually had signed contracts with the wind company are actually for these regulations. I think that says a whole lot. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, my name is Reading Dusty. DESKE. I'm reading this letter from Meredith McKinney, she unable to meet, to attend the meeting on October 22nd, so writing to urge you to pass the Big Sweet Mountain Park zoning regulations as presented, particularly the proposed setbacks and height limits for wind energy development. As a county commissioner, your primary responsibility is to preserve the health, safety, and general welfare of Prairie County residents. Passing these proposed regulations fulfills that duty and protects the rights of all landowners in the district. I'm Meredith McKinney, a licensed land specialist with Great Plains Land Company. I work as a land agent throughout eastern Montana with extensive experience in all 12 western states. I live in Sydney, and I service the entire eastern Montana region with regular business in Prairie County. As an accredited land consultant through the Realtors Land Institute, a designation held by only the top 1% of land agents nationwide. I've watched how energy developments affect property values and land use in rural communities. The direct relationship between urban height and property value impact. From my professional experience working with buyers and sellers across Montana, I can tell you unequivocally the taller the wind turbine, the greater the negative impact on neighboring property values for non-participating landowners. This isn't speculation, it's what I see in the market every day. When industrial scale turbines exceed 199 feet, the impacts multiply. Visual dominance extends for miles. Buyers immediately discount properties within view of 500 to 600 foot structures with red blinking lights that destroy dark skies and huge fields. The trespass zoning effect reaches farther. A 650 foot turbine, shadow, flicker, noise, and visual intrusion can affect properties over a mile away. Yet those landowners receive no compensation for their property value loss. Marketability declines sharply. Properties near tall industrial turbines sit on the market longer and sell for less. Recreational buyers, retirees, and families seeking rural quality of life are primary buyer pools and actively avoid these areas. Light pollution from aviation warning lights and structure over 199 feet creates 24/7 visual intrusion that cannot be mitigated, permanently damaging the night sky views that give Montana properties premium value. Why do these regulations protect all property rights? The Big Sweet Mountain Park zoning regulations preserve property values and the rights for the entire district.
Would you like to put that in the record?
Yes.
Give them birthday.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, Scott Blacktop, GLA, SNS, COA. I'm from Northern County. We're in the middle of the wind farm, the next area out over there, and we're a non-participating member, and we have several towers that are within a mile of our house, and they're quite noisy. And obviously, the red blinking lights are not fun to look at, but they, I think non-participating landowners need property rights too. And I think there needs to be boundaries and certain distance away from non-participating members of houses and fences, because it doesn't just affect the participating landowners, it's also affecting the non-participating landowners. So I would be in favor of you guys to pass some regulations on this, Big Sweet Mountain Park zoning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway,
You don't care, or. Maybe. I'd like to read a letter from the, used to live here and people who returning.
What's your name?
Norma, Peabody, Peabody. And it's a Peabody Road. So this is, dear Commissioner, I was born and raised in Montana within Prairie County. One of my fondest memories is when I was home for a summer break from college. I was looking across our meadow, seeing each one of my family members running a piece of equipment for the hay season. I think of how Mars was that picture would be with wind towers on the hills in any direction. I know this is seemingly minor reason to not have them, but is it? I have lived in North Dakota 23 years now. It is so sad that the most beautiful areas are flooded with them. There is a saying, follow the money. I don't know where it leads to, but this I do know. Someone has a lot of money to try to convince the people of their need and moral responsibility to have them. I've gotten ads on my weather app, on Pandora, and other places. What is right for Prairie County? I believe keeping the hopes of efficient, non-toxic energy out is what is best. I know you have been thoroughly educated on the cons of having wind farms, but you have not responded to products that to protect what we hold so dear. I am trusting and praying you today stand in the gap to ensure the beauty and purity of the skies and land of the home I love. Sincerely, Sam Peabody Walker. And then I would just like to say, obviously, the most of what has been said today, please honor the vote of the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Joanne and Mike.
Through the chair.
I'm sorry,
Through the chair. Through the chair.
through the chair, but I don't understand.
Address me,
Okay,
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Devlin, okay. My name is Joanne and Mike, I'm from Prairie. Recently, my friend Shirley Gay came from Bangor, Maine area. And we had to talk about a lot of stuff going on there and here. And one of the things we talked about was the wind farm. And she said the following: they have wind turbines there near her. The energy generated and the money does not stay in the area. It gets sent to Massachusetts. Their taxes went up after the construction, and it just went up again another $400. Living in a rural area, they have a farm with livestock. Their electric bills soared over $600 a month. Their heating oil is over $600 a month. So even out east, the wind farms are taking more than they give. She said they are still expanding and they're going into the wooded areas on people's land. All paved dirt roads, made roads where back trails used to be to get from one section to the next. Solar farms are the same thing, she said. There were 2 accidents in the past couple of years. She's an EMT and is actually certified. The ambulances were able to get to them, but with much difficulty. Right now, their blades are over 575 feet, but they are building bigger. They started out smaller, but some are over 600 feet, and we want to go to the max height. One injured worker had a wrench of some sort fall from the top of the tower onto his arm, and he nearly lost it. It was severed almost nearly off, but they were able to save it. I am for regulations, and I think that you need to listen to the people, what they want, not what you think might be good for income or whatever, because as Shirley said, the money is gone, it's not there, and the energy produced is not there. It goes to Massachusetts. Thank you. Another lady I spoke with online, and I referred her to Rick Holden, she said the same thing. The money does not stay, the energy does not stay that they generate, it goes out. And from what I understand, they're going to sell this energy to California. If we're gonna be producing it, we should get it, but I don't believe in it, and I don't want them here. I live in town, I'm not from the rural area. We like Star Watch. We went out looking for the meteor shower the other day, and Keith was like, where are all those flashing lights? What are all those flashing lights? And I said, those are the wind towers. He goes, well, that's ridiculous. I said, that's exactly right. So I am in favor of the regulation. I do not want them, and I live in the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chairman, Matrix, and Clint Group, that's NPRUE. I'm a landowner, businessman, and voter. I live in the district, and I'm in favor of the zoning regulations reserved for our landscape as it is, and for future generations. And with, as we look back at the generations or the previous year, to keep it like it is. And that if you, report this, and you to report the regulations and not overturn the results in the election. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Mark Holmes, SMALIS. I'm a landlord. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a voter, a business owner. I have many concerns that the regulations and the zoning not address, but that's the side point. What I ask is that you as commissioners support these regulations because they only are designed to protect us, and that's your job. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I'm a proponent of zoning. I support the proposed Big Sheep Mountain Park zoning district regulations. Passed and voted in by the people. I'm a landowner, business owner, and voter. If you change these regulations or vote them down, you are overturning an election. Thank you, and my last name is GRUE. My first name is Cyril Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Mr. Devlin and Commissioners, in Catalina, ONEILL. I am a proponent of the Big Sheep Mountain Park zoning regulations. The setbacks and the height limits, in my opinion, are the only neighborly thing to do. And they're use neutral, and majority of us have already voted that way. I have many concerns about the county's the health issues, the safety issues, and the landscape issues, road issues, stockwater well issues, and just ask you to pass them as written. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Mr. Chairman and Commission, thank you so much for this evening. My name is Lorraine Christopherson, CHRISTOFFERSON. And I am a leaseholder with Terra. A few years ago, when the oil boom was expected to come to Prairie County, there was never any mention of the negative effects of oil production or zoning. Instead, it was welcomed with open arms, with no consideration for the health and safety of our residents. All we heard was, we need the money. Now here we are, pushing zoning, saying it is for the health and safety of the county, but mainly targeting wind development. Although this may be legal, it is definitely questionable. In my estimation, the proposed zoning area would be hard to regulate with this patch of urban sections in and out of the zoned area. If you make the decision to move ahead with zoning, it would also be necessary to hire a compliance officer to oversee the zoning, which would be an additional cost to the taxpayers, as well as an additional burden and hindrance to the future development in Prairie County. This past Monday, as I was watching CNBC, individuals were on there saying that the U.S. needs to produce significantly more amounts of energy over the next few years to meet the needs of our country. They suggested we use all forms of energy production, including wind, solar, nuclear, as well as oil and coal. Somewhere in all of this discussion, we need to consider the rights of those families who signed those leases over 6 years ago for wind development on their property. It shouldn't be up to someone else to decide what we can do to make a living on our property. This may be one of the last opportunities for Prairie County to find some kind of revenue to keep our county strong and moving forward. In closing, it is sometimes not the loudest voices in the community life. All voices, no matter how small, deserve a chance to be heard. I encourage you to vote no on the proposed zoning plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
MATHIASON. I'm here to talk about the 800 structures that are blueprinted to be around my home. A little background where I want to raise my kids. I want them to be able to enjoy farming, ranching, and maybe also because we have too much of that, right? And it's a beautiful view that only Montana can say that we have anymore. That's why the rest of the US calls it the big sky. I am in support of the zoning district because we live out there. We will see them. We will have to deal with the traffic and construction, the garbage, the bad roads, and everything else that's going to come with these structures besides the eyesore. That is not even including the impacts that have already been discussed to wildlife, water, and the property values. It is very obvious that some of the folks that are signing these contracts do not live out there and will not see them and will not have that perspective. If the power produced was for Eastern Montana, this would be a completely different discussion. But this power isn't even for us. It should make you wonder why the infrastructure has to be here, right? The zoning district is not saying that you can't have a tall structure. It's just saying that you need to be neighborly at 190 feet or less. To follow up, my husband and I say trailer have 4 miles on a county road by ourselves to the 2 of us. And we didn't see one person. I felt that. And I know my children felt that too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, my name is Dennis Kumar, DLUHU. I live in Garfield County, 4 miles north of Rock Springs. I'm surrounded on 3 sides by 315 wind turbines. Our ranch, we did not sign on. My grandfather and my grandmother said, our ranch, they would have never, ever I'm just glad they're not here to see what I have to watch every day. From the sound of the turbines to the lights. Once they're built, you can't take them down. I'm gonna go to another issue, property taxes. Next era told us that our property taxes will go down. My commissioners told us that they would go down. This is a fact. We own land in 3 counties, Custer, Rosebud, and Garfield. Rosebud County taxes went up 4.5%. Custer County's property taxes went up 6.5%. Garfield County's property taxes went up 31%. Be aware. I would urge you as commissioners of your county to support the zoning of Sheep Mountain
1 minute.
project. Like I said, once they're up, you can't take them down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I'm Vincent Morrow, MAURO, and I'm an opponent of Big Sheep Mountain Park zoning. I work for Nectar Energy Resources. Commissioners, I respectfully address you tonight because I believe there's a path to promote the health, safety, and economic welfare of those in Prairie County while also setting the county up for long-term success. There is a way to balance the many interests that have been and will be expressed tonight. And we and Nectar Energy Resources want to forge that path with you, working together with the county and the residents of Prairie. And one way to do this is to establish a development agreement. Under a development agreement, Prairie County can dictate what would be required from a new development like the Klondike Wind project. The development agreement is legally binding and it holds the project accountable without placing zoning restrictions on everyone in the county. The development agreement is less costly to the county or targeted in zoning. It's not creating a taxing district. The commission has a draft of a development agreement for the Klondike Wind project. It's our hope that we can refine it together. A second option is county-wide zoning. Setbacks are necessary for a project like Klondike Wind. We have proposed amendments to the general provisions of the Big Sheep Mountain Park zoning district. These amendments will allow the Klondike Wind project to proceed while protecting the health, safety, and welfare of Prairie County residents. As originally written, code regulations for the Big Sheep Mountain Park zoning district do not accommodate both the economic welfare and the public safety. A prohibition of any structure over 199 feet is incompatible with the requirements of the Klondike Wind project and will jeopardize the project's $1 billion invested in Prairie County, which is estimated to generate $283 million in local revenue, increase the county's taxable value by over 300%, will create jobs, and it will allow landowners to harvest their natural resource with for profit. All of which will provide an economic reward to Prairie County. A single year of Klondike Wind project impact east of Prairie County would double the total amount of appropriations for this year's Prairie County budget. That's additional funding for the county's priorities, for weed management, to the Bear Ward, to Prairie seniors, to the Prairie, this very vast of where we stand. Energy development is economic development. The Big Sheep Mountain Park zoning regulation can jeopardize generational opportunity in Prairie County without following provisions. Finally, I'd like to submit to the commission this evening letters of support from Prairie County residents, our amendment from the Big Sheep Mountain Park zoning district. I also submit a letter from the Cellular Telecommunications and Internet Association warning the heightened setback restrictions set forth by the Big Sheep Mountain Park zoning district would substantially hinder the deployment of wireless infrastructure. These to enhance service coverage and network reliability in Prairie County. Commissioners, I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Excuse me, what was your first name?
Vincent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who would like to be next?
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. My name is Dr. Chris Olson, spelled OLLSON. I'm a public health and safety welfare consultant, third-party independent expert for next area, and been asked by them to appear before you today. I am a opponent to the zoning, draft zoning regulations that are before you. You've heard tonight, by the proponents, they were specifically designed so that we will not have a project in the county itself. So you may as well just pass the moratorium if that is the case. You have again, Ross Reed, PM, has previously submitted to you about a 50-page report that I've prepared for you folks on the science and the engineering behind public health safety, welfare, setting the setbacks. You also know that they just provided you this evening. The setbacks that are there are far too excessive. You couldn't build a project anywhere in the country based on those setbacks, let alone the height restriction of 200 feet. You can't buy a turbine. A modern wind turbine is less than or at 200 feet. I'm not going to go through all the different zoning regulations that are adopted by various states, but suffice it to say there are, whether it's North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, or Minnesota, New York State, and others, they've adopted statewide regulations with their setbacks. And you'll see that even the development agreement that is brought to you folks is far in excess of those setbacks in other states. So when the external approach to folks in the development agreement is a 1 mile setback in the non-participating homes, for example, there's no other project that I've worked on in either other projects right across the US that have such a setback. And so what I would urge you though, as commissioners, is to follow the science and engineering that we have. There's 76,000 turbines across the United States right now operating properly within regulated limits. These limits are supposed to be science, just to not have the products themselves. So if you want to look at zoning, which I don't think you need to do, you can go through development agreements with the individual companies and help set the rate 1 minute stop. So you can set those regulations with the individual companies through the development agreement. If you are going to look at zoning, I would suggest you look at zoning for the entire county. So it's fair across the entire county. Look at the science to the engineering, all of those numbers. A 1 mile setback is already as a 1.1 times 10 by 8. You do it on the multiplier of the turbine itself. That will guarantee the public health, safety, and welfare of your citizens. With that, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
So I'm Alan Kloss Anderson.
Who's the chair,
Mr. Chair and Commissioner. My name is Alan Kloss Anderson, AMDERSON. I am a consultant here for next year. I am a chair of the practice group with multi law firm and I'm a professor at the University of Kansas School of Law. I previously committed to have a paper on property values. And so this is an issue, we have decades of history on this, and we've studied it. As you'll see, the study repeatedly confirmed there's no impact on property values, period. If you look at the states that have done the most generation, whether it be Texas, Kansas, all through the Midwest, including as you come from Montana, that continues to repeat itself, that it is not an impact on property values, property values. You also then, from a health and safety perspective, Dr. Olson provided a report that goes through this history. We have decades of looking at what's happened here as it relates to health and safety. Here in Montana, you have more than 20 years of actually operating projects. We know how to site projects, especially they're healthy and safe. And this is not a question of maybe it isn't, it isn't, it is, we know this answer is healthy and safe and appropriate for our areas. The setbacks and conditions in the development community have far exceed what I've seen in other places by a large magnitude. These are beyond what we have to do with health and safety. And the reason that matters is once we know that they use is healthy and safe, the issue is we have to remember when we talk about property rights, it's not that people don't have activity on their property. Farming, ranching, oil and gas, all those things have sound, they have activity, they have smells, they have those things. It's whether or not it's healthy and safe. Because the people who want to use their property in this way, no one's going to come pay the mortgage for those people, whether it's a subsidy, a bad year of crops, or with livestock. it's important then for commissioners to look at the health and safety so they actually protect the property rights of the people who want to use their property.
1 minute.
In the paper you have there, what you'll see is the report from right for the laboratory. Not only is it good for the landowners to participate, what they found in that is the communities that do choose to have host projects like this, right? They have an increase in these rural areas that otherwise making it comparable to having difficult finding the revenues, schools and those things. They thrive. People want to live with schools during, have the funds that they need to, the infrastructure and things they want. So with that, I think it's good to pastoral development, zoning, consider the development agreement with statewide zoning, such as that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, Commissioner, my name is Clayton Heights, HEITV. And I'm not a paid Folsom for next era, but I'm in fourth generation rancher, live on Big Street Mountain Road. My kids will be the 5th generation. And I'm in favor of the zoning districts because the land will never be the same when they're done. It just won't be the same. No matter what they tell you, it won't be the same. Thank you.
Did you spell it?
How do you?
HEITZ.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Cody Piddes, Piddes. And I am in favor of the zoning. And unlike most people here, that's really hard for me to make that decision. Because while I'm generally supportive of wind, I think in this case, you should pass the zoning. That's because abundantly clear to me that it's overwhelmingly the decision of people in this county. And while we are a county that is generally supportive of private property rights and against the government telling us what we can do with things, it seems like in this case, that's simply the fact is that people want it this way. That's hard for me because I'm not a consultant that's leaving early or somebody who's gone. I'm a person who has kids in the school, whose wife is a teacher and a counselor, and sees what it's like for our community to not have a lot of economic activity going to bring people to the school, to bring people to the town, to bring taxpayer money to support roads and whatnot. So it's really hard for me to say, let's turn our back on this once in a lifetime opportunity for Prairie County, but that's what people want here. And importantly, I think also the reason I say that is because I feel like my observations of NextEra and my few interactions with them suggest to me that they are not a good party to go into this major operation with. If they want to be a good neighbor, they have had ample opportunity to use available technology to shut the lights off in the Clearwater and have them tied to only turning on when it's necessary when aircraft come by. They haven't done that. I just wondered that feeling about NextEra being the partner on this major project. And it's really hard for me to say no to a life-changing opportunity for Prairie County, but that's what people want, and that's my gut feeling of the right thing to do.
Thank you.
Commissioners, that we repealed TREENFIELD. I'd like to tell you that I am a proponent for our zoning. I've got a lot of skin in the game. My granddad homesteaded just below the Sheep Mountain. Everybody that comes to his loves it. You pick them up on top, look her over, they're amazed. People from all over the world come to visit us and say, we're amazed. Wow, where can we have a view like this? I want to continue to have a view like this. I think myself and 75% of the landowners that have skin in this game have spoken. We've said We want this zoning as it is written, and I would really appreciate, back us up, voted for you, like you did all the South.
Thank you.
Chairman, Commissioner Glenn, Brock Tibbetts, Tibbetts. I haven't spent a lot of time on this. I haven't done a lot of research on this. So I'm not gonna say if I support the zoning or not. I guess that's probably pretty evident. I have done a little traveling lately. I haven't went too far. I went to North Dakota and I went to Lewistown the last month. And everywhere you look, there's more people, there's more cars on the interstate. There's just more happening. Is that what we want here? I don't think it is personally what I want. I like Terry the way it is. I went to school right here and it wasn't funded with any windmills. And I got a fine education. So I think that's I think that will continue. I think that we don't need that. Sure, there's gonna be rough roads, there's gonna be tough times. We'll make it through it. And another thing, I don't think we need to pollute our county and our area. And I mean that too. It will be pollution, there's no doubt. For people in the city to have the power that we produce here. I think this is a pretty country and that's the way we want it. We don't want to be discovered here. That's my opinion. Sure, so it could be great. We're making it. We're big sky country, not big window country. So like I said, I haven't done a lot of research, didn't write a big speech. I just thought about it up here, but that's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Shane, Ethan. I have a few problems here, okay, bear with me. Prairie County resident, voter, owner of Eaton Ranch, owner of Eaton Livestock, owner of Prairie Cattle Company, affiliated with Eaton Farms and Eaton Land and Cattle. All do business in Prairie County. The thrust of the regulations goes to this board right here, that none of the experts will tell you. It has to do with trespass zoning. When you have owner A, develop next to owner B, it externalizes the effects on the owner B without permission, without compensation. The regulation passed by over 75% of people in the zoning district take this into consideration, but we do not want to externalize the effects of our developments on our neighbors. Very clear. So, in the setbacks, that one of the gentlemen tonight said we cannot develop that way, which they do develop in Angelo with this space, and you do in what, Canada and every other state. You have owner A, owner B, you have property line right here. This is the effects from this development. This is the effect of this development. Both owners agree to internalize and externalize the effects amongst each other for participating landowners. This spacing, 1,400 feet, 1,400 feet is 2,800 feet. 15 times the water diameter by John Hopkins University and 75 in practice. Look at Angela. Look at Wild Plains, Kansas. Right here, the next area development. And you can see the spacing. Now, we have non-participating landowner right here, owner B, non-participating, owner A, participating. We have a 2,100 foot setback. Thank you. We have a 2,100 foot setback that internalizes the effects to owner A's land and keeps it off of owner B. The people in the district respect each other. And that is the basis of the setbacks. 8 points to New York. Dexterra wonderfully had a winter burn, and for 2 miles, their non-participating landowners devastated the properties. Okay, that's a fact. I'll be emailing you articles on them. The height limit Is it statutorily, in your, powers commissioners to implement it? You can't hardly find a zoning district in Montana that does not have a height limit. We as a community, the Big Sheep Mountain zoning district, want to develop the way we want to as a community. We do not want a $150 billion company coming in and dictating to us how our community is going to be developed.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, my name is Heidi Wheaton, EATON, and I am giving testimony in regards to Ryan Bain around the Wild Plains wind development in Kansas. NextEra Energy developed the Wild Plains wind development in Kansas without talking to Mr. Ryan Bain. He has 12 turbines within a mile of his house and 24 within 1.5 miles. Mr. Bain talked about his funded because of the trespass zoning, because of this trespass zoning by NextEra. These alien animals cannot cope with the noise, flickers, and any noise to come down with. Big Sheep Mountain District Development Standards take trespass zoning into consideration and the value of property of all landowners, not just those that develop. We do not want Mr. Bain's drug concentration to be allowed in the Big Sheep Mountain District. And Shane is showing some videos of what has taken place on this property, and those will be available. They'll be emailed to the commissioners and available to the public. So you can display them.
We didn't have TV tonight.
In another TV channels to display them, but they will be available.
This is right outside his residence, yes, 12 within a mile. And one more, Mr. Chairman. To demonstrate the effects that the zoning district.
This one of them shows the shadow flicker on the property where its house is, so it'll show the shadow flicker that goes on. And then others, the lights.
Oh,
That happen at night. Also, the shadow flicker that happens through his window, if he has heated shades, that but you can still see the flicker through the shades.
That's one I just showed.
Yeah.
We did a different one.
Thank you.
This is inside the house. I'll email all this to you. Thank you.
Commissioner, I ask you to give me a.
We're gonna take a break real quick, like, not very long.
I believe I come back.
The lady that spoke, she left. She would like this submitted to the record as well.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mona.
We'll have more sponsors.
Yeah.
What's that?
You do anything you want.
Well, I'm what, I'm. Next time. Thanks, God.
You've got 30 days to submit. I got lots of opinions and things I could talk to.
Come back.
I have to make sure it's in bed.
Oh, the meeting's fine. Well, that's.
Sorry to throw you off pace, but I couldn't wait any longer.
Gonna start up again.
I think it should. No, it's on. Maybe he muted it. Maybe he had to go use the restroom. There he is.
Better hurry. Then Gerald got. What's that? Yeah, I'm gonna go front Robbie home. He just told John Killen that we don't need to.
That's the guy
His mother was thrashing.
Tell me, give me.
Todd had to clean food.
Oh, we did. Oh, my. Learning a lot tonight, kiddo.
Ernie Robbie Rooftop needs a weapon.
Yep, I'll stand down. I don't see it.
Yeah, I think it's on time.
We're going to start out here again, folks, so be seated, please. Thank you.
You know what? I don't know if I got heartburn on my own or if you said that. I don't know that much. It was probably me. Yes. Other side, there you go. Had a fly in your hair. Had a fly in your hair. Oh, I did.
I thought about smacking him, but somebody around.
We know. We know, Dennis.
Well, I don't lie.
No.
I agree. Any more testimony is welcome at this point.
What'd you say?
Testimony.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioner, my name is Nebo Rathbun. Rathbun is spelled R-A-T-H-U-B-N. I am a homeowner in the town of Prairie. Part of my story began in Kansas. I was raised about 5 or 8 miles just off of Interstate 70. And so I have seen a lot of red lights at night, in traveling. When my brother took over the land, and it has now been sold, but, when he took over the land, he said, no, you don't want the windmills. But around the corner, where my grandparents, lived, they would have to travel up through their land to get on where they were wanting to put the windmills, and folks said no. One of the reasons why my husband and I like Montana is because they're wide open spaces. We have been to the mountains and driven up through there, and when you get in that area, a lot of times the trees are so tall, you really cannot see the view. And so when I was surveying in Garfield County, it was beautiful land. And then I made a couple of trips over after they were developing the windmills there. And I have to be honest with you, I was very disappointed to see that. And in fact, on one time coming back from Georgia, actually, I stopped and I took a picture. And when it was developed, there were several windmills just spaced out. But to me, it was ugly. I guess I'm looking at the aesthetics of it. But I like the wider open spaces. And I would really appreciate your support of the Shoe Mountain Park. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Is my mic on?
Maybe it died. No, that's fine. Yeah, it's working. Thank you.
Um. Where is it? We have testimony, from a gentleman, David Hallett, Hallett, who is a non-participating landowner, in Redstone, New York. Red's Farm next to McNair's 8.2 acre development. Yeah, I would just.
Dexter Energy is building an industrial wind development project next to my 700-acre farm. At the request of NextEra, our township changed the laws in 2017 to allow NextEra to build a turbine 600 feet from my property line, using 800 feet of my property in the wind project map to meet the 1,400 feet requirement from the turbine to a residence. Now, on 300 acres of our property, we had noise, and on the south part of that, we also had shadow flicker. Although the law was changed to say that only, NextEra only needs to restrict sound and flicker at a residence 1,400 feet away. That was existing at the time of building the project. So our woods and our fields are subject to noise and flicker, as well as future homes and buildings with no legal recourse. We know from living next to them that a mile radius from non-participating landowners' property line is barely enough. As an example, the turbine fire we had at the beginning of the project set fiberglass and other debris in a set from a mile radius from the turbine. The landowner is still cleaning up debris 2 years after the fire. This is all documented on the DPS Matter Rescue website. With that, fiberglass removed from trees and from the ground on the property. I can be seen for miles along with our project, which is another project 15 miles away in Pennsylvania, and those lakes are on and blinking all night long. Thousand people away from the water. At the time, it's very small, and as well as during the day. We've been doing restrained because of the effect. The initial response from their land representative was that we need to get an attorney and sue them. Prairie is stuck because of local law, but also include language that puts the attorney fees on NextEra for any non-participating landowner who has negative effects from a nearby project. NextEra is an industrial electrical generating company that needs to make money at all costs. They have lots of money, people in position, government and agencies, and experience manipulating local government and landowners. In closing, the setbacks, height requirements, noise levels, safety factors all need to be considered and verified by a third party to ensure the people and our property are protected. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Marshall Kurtz, PIRTZ. I'm a local business owner. After listening to everything tonight, you can make all the arguments for the windmill, all the arguments against windmills. It really doesn't matter what they say. They say they're talking about zoning, and the people quite vote, they don't want it. They want the zoning. I think that's pretty apparent. We've got 75% of the people that say they want it. About sitting in your seat, I feel obligated to listen to them. I have a responsibility to listen to them. Our founding fathers created the country in the belief that people who govern themselves, try to create a country, and a government that reflects that idea. These people know what's best for them. It's not for them to tell you what's best for them. These people are smart, they're educated, and they know what they want. And they've spoken clearly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, my name is Art Tyler, Tyler. I'm an opponent of the zoning. I was hoping you could settle this without having to zone Prairie County. We have enough government control already in Prairie County with BLM and the state-owned property. This might help bring in a little more revenue to Prairie County. So anyway, I know they're ugly and all that. I've driven out to all the wind farms we have around here. And I never heard any noise, but I don't live next to it. But anyway, I am against zoning Prairie County at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Molly Eaton. Speak, name on.
Okay, my commissioners, this is Molly Eaton. I'm just, calling in tonight about kind of how I feel as a young citizen for the county who's been here my whole life. Obviously, not having there my entire life. And, I just want to say, like a lot of people have said, we are in a really, really unique part of the world where people come here and they've never seen it before. And 3 years ago, I drove over to Idaho to visit my friends. I thought it was going to be the most beautiful country I'd ever seen because all I heard about was San Diego Valley, the mountains, and all of this. And as I drove over the pass, I got into Idaho. And all I could see for miles and miles in front of these beautiful, beautiful mountains was wind tower after wind tower after wind tower. It completely broke up the landscape. And I just thought to myself in that moment, I was like, I'm so glad I was where I live because you don't have to see this. You don't have to deal with this. Our land is going to remain pure. It's never going to affect our skyline, our views. We're always going to have tourists coming because they don't have to see that, whereas when you go to the coast, you go to the mountains now, all you're seeing is wind towers. And I think that the young people of Prairie County who elected you guys, we have a voice too, and I think that you guys have the priority, and it's your job to lead our county better than when we came in, and lead it better to the future generations who are incoming, who have to worry about how are we going to attract tourists, what are we going to do with this land? What are we going to do with these wind towers when we have to clean them up? That's not your guys' problem right now, but it's going to be ours. And so I think that, it's just in your best interest to really think about the younger generation and, what's going to be and, what's going to matter for us. Because in the long run, we're going to be here for another 60, 70 years, so this is going to be our burden to carry, and I want to keep Prairie County big sky country, so thank you.
CHOT. I'm 13 years old and I've lived here my whole life. I like the zoning idea because I don't like looking at the blinking red lights every night when I go to bed. And if my neighbors don't want to, they shouldn't have to, but I do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, County Commissioners, my name is Jerry Singleton, SINGLEN. I've heard some really elegant testimony on both sides of the station. And I don't always like to have much on either side. But there are three major things that what concerns from everybody. One of them, the first is I'd like to challenge next era to take the 50% tax rebate off. I think the way it worked in Custer, Garfield, first 5 years, the 50% deduct. And then on the 6th year, it goes to 40, 30, 20. That is backwards from the impact. So that's the first thing I'd like to challenge next era to do, whether this is a win, lose, or draw. The other thing is impact fees. Next era paid Custer County approximately $6.5 million in impact fees. We live in the impacted zone. And we've had testimony from several others. Not one nickel of impacted money came back to the impacted people. This is not necessarily all next year's fault. This is fault of our counties and agreed. But that's the second thing. Impacted people need to be reimbursed. The other thing is we talked about price of energy going up. I would like future projects to have a 25% or whatever deemed necessary
1 minute.
retention for the local electric or whatever it is, rather than going out of state. That's one of the biggest points of retention, that there is no gain or pain. And those are three fixes. One more impact thing can be fixed. If you're within sight of the impact deal, I think when the counties get the impact fees, it should be 50% deduct back to the landowner. So there's three things that I certainly like, win, lose, or draw. And there will always be another next era. Always. So energy is coming at us. So let's keep that in mind for future energy things. Let's forget the impacted people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Travis Joe, Prairie County voter, president. I just want to submit, I think everything's been said here. I just want to put up my support for the zoning. The people who voted, limited block, Republican, Democratic Republic, to follow the vote of the people. Thank you very much. Yes, amenities of my written comments.
Mr. Chairman, I have Representative Terry Schiller on the phone. Go ahead.
Can you say that again? Who? Terry.
His family in Cone County. Also represent the 634 Montana legislature. Some people may be wondering why we are here testing these ordinances by concerned landlords in Prairie County. The answer is pretty simple, actually. During the 2025 Montana legislative session, several solid pieces of legislation were put forward to put into statute reasonable protections for landlords and residents of counties and towns being impacted by large-scale nuclear and electrical generation. There were virtually no protections for non-participating landowners, especially in regard to setbacks. Setbacks, while important, even when at the level put forth in this zoning proposal, still won't fully mitigate the reduction in property values caused to non-participating landowners. During a meeting in Baker a couple of years ago regarding the Great Plains Connect transmission line,
A local realtor stated that structures like that cause ranch property values to be reduced by half. Bonding, what's going to happen when these corporate giants run into trust flooding and decide to abandon these giant towers? Before 15 years, they can walk scot-free. They again oppose having bond for the reclamation from year one. Back to why we're here. While some very modest statutory changes were made during the 2025 legislative session, serious, meaningful protections were killed. Why? Because the mega corporations are promoting these massive developments, bought the bills, tooth and nail, persuading the majority of legislators to accept watered down, insufficient alternatives. Where's this energy going? 100% upstate. Who is the chief beneficiary of these massive developments? 100% investors and corporations who obviously are concerned about the environmental or aesthetic impact of these unsightly towers and generators being proposed. No one could have imagined the magnitude of these projects when they signed leases years ago. Out-of-state consumers also benefit from electricity that don't want to develop in their backyards. Interestingly, when looking at what landlords actually support these projects and oppose this zoning proposal, they are mostly absentee landowners looking for a quick buck. We've been seeing these out-of-state megacorps advertising the amazing property tax benefits of their proposed projects. Yet the fact is, when they had the chance to beat down the county with the papers, they hold that over revenue-hungry officials. Wind generation facilities also receive preferential property tax treatment even without the
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Anthony Von Ruden, Bonruden. I'm new to the community. My wife and I moved here because we wanted to start our family in Prairie County. We wanted a small town community, so I'm thankful that I live in a place where I have the opportunity to come up here and talk. And I know this is a very contentious situation, and I have friends in the community on both sides of it. So difficult for me to come up here. I feel obligated to come up to provide a little bit different perspective. I am a hunting outfitter and a fishing outfitter operating in Montana for 15 years. I've taken thousands and thousands of clients, predominantly out of state, high income people to Montana to give them a outdoor experience. Unequivocally, every single one of them is blown away with the beauty of Montana and Prairie County in particular, which I think a lot of people find hard to believe. The beauty that we have and what we have as far as open space is extremely valuable. Companies such as this and everybody else, as someone else alluded to earlier, people will come knocking because what we have is valuable. Our open space is valuable, our scenic views, our solitude, the things that we hold here are valuable. Recreation and agriculture are Montana's number one and number two economic drivers, recreation being number one. I can tell you unequivocally, any data that anybody's provided that putting wind towers up will not impact recreational and agricultural values is completely false. It will kill our ability to have any other option moving forward economically. This is a death sentence as far as that goes. And I respect people. I believe that landowners should have the right to do what they want on their own properties. And, unfortunately, this is a situation that impacts all members of the community. I had no prior knowledge to the setbacks and all that stuff coming into it. I came into this meeting with an open mind. I think the setbacks are there to protect the people in this community. It seems overwhelming that people in this community are in support of these setbacks. As commissioners in your county, I feel like it would be injustice to not withhold or uphold, the choice that people in this county make. So with that, I had to come and speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Lisa Everett, Everett. I am a resident of Prairie County. I am a signed participating landowner in the Glen Wind Project. I'm a part-time rancher, a former school counselor, a member of the Hospital Foundation, which raises money for our local facility, and I'm someone who's lived my entire life in Montana. I am against the zoning proposition being presented. I'd like to point out a couple of inconsistencies in some of the information that's been presented this evening. The zoning district, for those who don't know, this is what the zoning district looks like for Prairie County. It is only a part of the county. Of the landowners within that county, yes, 76%. 76 landowners is basically what it is. It's about 100 landowners in that design district. 76 signed it. That does not mean we have a vote. That does not mean that 76% of the county is in favor. If you look at the number of active registered voters in Prairie County, that's 10% of our county population. This proposal, if you want to do zoning, do it full countywide. Let's have it work. Let's work together. Let's come up with some kind of agreement instead of being nasty and angry with each other all the time. Working together is what this area is about. A couple other things I'd like to mention is there are 23 current active wind projects in the state of Montana, and there has never been an incident, a catastrophic incident with any of those projects within our state. Every industry has accidents. There's a reason there's a Facebook page called the Bakken Fail of the Day. Okay. Colstrip, everyone's complaining about the power not staying in our state.
1 minute.
Thank you. Colstrip is not even owned by anyone within Montana, and 70% of their power has always gone to the Pacific Northwest. Subsidies. Please, next time you want to talk about the subsidies that NextEra may or may not receive, because President Trump has done a lot of doing away with those subsidies. Take a look at what the farmers and ranchers in Prairie County take in subsidies every year. Private property rights are pretty important for all of us. Let's work for that. Let's try to come together. Instead of being adversarial, let's be neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, Gary Benson, MAR, TA, and Minnesota. We've heard a lot of testimony over the last year, since October 31st, almost a year. We've heard a lot of money. That's not the issue. That's not what we're here today. A lot has came out about how long this contract that has been signed will be. Roughly 50 years. 50 years, I'm going to be 89 years old. I find it very ironic that we're standing in the gym full of generations to come. We have kids running around the lobby area in the stands. Those are the ones we need to worry about and protect. Not me. Worry about my kid. It is from the agricultural side of it, I've heard several people, tons of people in this community say, we can't get our young kids to come back to this community. What's it going to take? If we don't preserve our community and our environment we live in, these young kids that are going to fill this school tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, why are they going to do that? We've talked about young kids.
We've heard testimony from you guys. Let's consider you guys. Thank you for your time.
Chairman, Commissioners, Constance Solly would like to give testimony. Go ahead, Dasha, you're on speaker.
Good evening, this is Prairie. I would like to speak to our commissioners and our chairman, and my name is Bob S.O.L.L.E. And I would like to give testimony that we have started town a significant amount away from the windmills in Hudson County. And as soon as I come out of my drive, I can see the windmills. You know, it's 30 days, I can even see the blades spin. And we are probably 50 miles past from them. I would like to say that I feel that we need our setbacks and that I am in support of the petition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman and fellow Commissioners. Todd Gibbons, landowner, voter, and business resident in Prairie County. Thank you for taking time to hear our comments. I, as many other people in this room, our families have been here over a century. Numerous families that have come up here and spoken have been over here over a century. And that's important. Hopefully, like Mr. Martinson said, we'll be here for another century, which is important. Let's consider this election similar to a regular election that we would have in November coming up next month. You canvass that election. You come in to count to make sure all the votes are correct, and you say, let's go with it. It looks good. So in this situation, you have a district very similar to an election, and you are going to canvass this election. Is what the people want. It's similar to a mill levy coming in, and people voting for a mill levy of X amount. You don't change the mill levy after the people have voted. Another thing that people have to be aware of is the tax abatement issue. You have been very clear to this developer that you're not going to offer tax abatement. You are not going to offer tax abatement. That doesn't mean that they can't get it from Helena. We have to remember that. You are not going to offer it. You have said that. But we don't know if that's what's going to happen in Helena. Another thing that people have to remember, we live in a cold climate. When these tall structures are below 20 degrees, below zero, they do not operate. And they also require electricity to keep the gearboxes and such warm. So instead of going to a benefit to the grid, when really grid really needs the power when it's cold, they go to the mines because they start running power off the grid to heat the tower, which is the drawback. Another thing is the dark skies that we see that people have talked about, or borealis that we see at night. That probably won't be there if we have that. So we need to be cognizant of that. And you know, we have to look at a lot of noxious weeds in the country. When we get noxious weeds, they don't go away, and so that's important. So I think once again, please support the petition as presented. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I have a comment.
Commissioner Barry, Commissioner, my name is Barry McCall, MSP, I am a commissioner assistant, and I'm also a resident of Prairie County. And over the last 12 months, I've watched you guys get all the information from both sides and try to decide how to best deal with the situation that's presented to you. Whether to zone or to do any zoning or whatever the options were that presented to you. You took careful consideration in what both sides of the aisle said, those with contracts and without contracts. And you talk about everybody's property rights, what should be done and what shouldn't be done. And you've taken steps that you can with the information that you have and the situation that you're in. But here you're talking about a district that was put together by the petitioners, a group of people within that district that want this to happen. And it wasn't a quick and easy task. Took a lot of effort for them to come up with the signatures and get people to support the regulations that they're presenting to you. And I think that as commissioners, you need to really consider the fact that within that district, they want this. And but your situation kind of aside, this isn't the whole county. This is a district, and it may affect the whole county. But within this area, they really want this. And so I'm in support of this petition for the issue. Park. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. My name is Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fitzpatrick.
Could you do that one more time? I'm sorry.
Fitzpatrick. I'm Executive Director of Development for the Mountain West Region at NextEra Energy Resources. And again, we've been through this a number of times now. Really appreciate every opportunity to speak to you. Really appreciate the opportunity to hear from the community while we're here. And I'm obviously an opponent of the zoning district. And I'm an opponent because it would highly restrict the generational opportunity that we're proposing in Prairie County. It's an opportunity not only for the county, but also for the participating landowners. And I wanted to clear up a couple different things, some statements that were made throughout the night, of many things that we could speak to when we're talking about the development agreement that's been proposed by NextEra Lignite Energy Project. That zoning agreement has setbacks that are more restrictive than what we see in most jurisdictions. We've heard the concerns of the county, and we're proposing setbacks that are more restrictive for the project than what we see in most jurisdictions across the country. I'd also like to point out that the development agreement does include aviation detected lighting system, which would turn off the lights at night and let the aircraft is flying over. So those are, that seems to be a very large concern. I heard a lot about red blinking lights, but the project that we're proposing in Prairie County, we would be able to turn off those lights and let the aircraft is flying over it. The other thing I'd like to speak to briefly is that the comments about the energy not staying in Montana or not enough of the energy potentially staying in Montana. Montana is traditionally a resource export state, whether it's energy, whether it's energy or whether it's other resources that are going out of state. A lot of the energy, most of the energy produced in Montana is leaving the state. A lot of the coal that's produced in Montana is going to the Pacific Rim. It's a resource export state. If this project is exporting its power out of state, $1 billion investment in all the impact fees and the tax revenue and the jobs are staying in Prairie County. So this is, like I said, just to reiterate, this is a generational opportunity that we're proposing. We're not going to change hearts and minds about how people feel about wind energy in general, but we do listen to the community when we're putting together and informing the design of this project and the development agreement that we proposed to the county today. So thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you. Are we ready to go home?
Rini got her telephone on.
Reading first, yeah, TV. Thank you. This is a district, many counties have districts. They have one district. And this has been voted on by the people in the district. Jonah. This is the people. I'm fourth generation, I have fifth and sixth generation here. I go up to the outdoors, I go fishing. I went with my father, he's a well driller, he'll love me in your property. We don't stand outdoors. We go a lot of wells. We go to continue that, and to put a, solar panel, but I really like real windy. We have a business owner, and we have a steady business with hundreds. People who come here, we have agritourism. What we have in this county is ridiculously valuable. And for all businesses, they don't come here to watch lights or the roaring windows. You go anywhere, I travel all over to Idaho, and to go when the winds are over. That beautiful valley, the St. Louis Valley is incredible. The only thing that would surpass it in beauty is our prairie. We are Prairie County. It's in our name. That's what we are. It's valuable. Our egg is valuable. Our people are valuable. Our bathrooms are valuable. The people, I just had 5 hunters come in that didn't draw a tag, and they came here anyway because they love the open spaces. They love Prairie County. And it doesn't just happen once, it happens a lot. We have a nice sky, and we don't have to AI it to make it look beautiful. It is beautiful. So I would just urge the commission to do the will of the people that have put this district together. And to get along with each other, absolutely. I respect the people that fight for what they believe in, absolutely. But also the neighbors. I was sharing the one neighbor is going to have to endure 3 of the money lines, 13. Do we not care about those neighbors? These people aren't going to be here again. They don't care about our way of life. We do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. It was good testimony. We try to be fair as a board of county commissioners, make everybody feel that they're welcome to state their opinions and facts. We appreciate you coming tonight and have a safe trip home. Never mind.
Commissioner, thank you. My name is Sam Ford. I'm talking on behalf of my daughter, Lonnie Ford.
Can you spell your last name?
C-O-N. Hello, Commissioner and Chairman. My name is Lonnie Coon, Prairie County resident, voter, and local business owner. I remember growing up and hearing my parents talk about zoning and what a scary thought it could be for people in our land and the area we live in. As a member of the younger generation of Prairie County, I think it is important to know we are in support of this zoning at the time. From what I see, the pros of this zoning outweigh the cons. Lastly, I know one point I see next year made a lot and advertised for is the large amount of money coming into our county. As a local business owner who would benefit from and see an increase of income if the wind project continues, I would rather let that money go than to deal with both the short and long-term effects of this wind farm.
Thank you.
Should have said in support of the district. Yes.
Have a safe trip home. Thank you.
You're right. Not me, Robbie.